A week of big trades and big pickups as teams prepare to do whatever it takes to win this season or tank for next year. All that and more this week on Real Talk. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, as always, Yurt Lopcom. Week 8 saw some pretty big trades. Coach Trey McFall gave up a second-round pick for Calvin Johnson. Coach Field Snyder gave up a third-round pick for Matt Forte. And Coach Hank Patterson was robbed of Golden Tate and Tannehill after his stellar trade with Coach Tanner Jones was shockingly turned down. Also, the planets aligned and allowed Stephen to trade concussed Josh Freeman for starting Mike Glennon. Q's Cornball Bros had their highest scoring game since week 1 in their matchup against Charles Manson's Marauders this week. Colin Kaepernick was able to cancel out Peyton Manning this week with a whopping 24 points, while RG3 got back to his 2013 roots of blowing donkey penis. A 20-point performance from the Denver defense helped Coach Pearson Cunningham secure this win and knock Coach Stephen 2 wins behind first place. Q's Cornball Bros beat Charles Manson's Marauders 99-57. Coach Marco Flores seems to be a little confused as what it means when you say you're going to tank your season. After declaring this season a failure and trading away some of his high-scoring players, he still won his matchup this week. Aaron Rodgers put up an Aaron Rodgers-like amount of points this week with 19. But the real story is Ashley Schaefer, BMW's kicker, who put up Aaron Rodgers-like points with 17 points. I smell a new keeper. Ashley Schaefer BMW beats Monsters Inc. 71-61. Coach Graham McGugan continues to implement his Terry Schiavo coaching approach. He hasn't changed his lineup, accepted trades, picked up from the waiver wire, or changed his team name for that matter. So far with his record 2-6, I would say it doesn't look like this vegetative strategy is working, but as Coach Nate Jones has proven, if you have a vegetative fantasy team for long enough, eventually you'll have a good season. Unfortunately, Mutant Mayonnaise, despite having 3 players score 0 points, beat the Movington Steamers this week 88-35. Coach Nasty Nate lost a heavy matchup against Coach Alex Edelman this week. Once again, the Titty Duckers Drew breezed their way into victory. The Duckers led Team Nasty Nate by a huge margin going into Monday night. Coach Nate Jones, of course, had 6 players that played on Monday. But unfortunately, they came up short, and not even Blaine Gabbard could save Team Nasty Nate from the long corkscrew duck penis of the Titty Duckers. It's true. Ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises. They developed them after female ducks developed maze-like vaginas as a defense against the rape culture of male ducks. The Titty Duckers duck raped Team Nasty Nate 86-45. Teams that JJ What You Say had their second win in a row this week, bringing their total number of victories to 3. Despite Coach John Devine leaving his QB2 spot open, Charlie's number 2 QB, Michael Vick, was still outscored. Vick had a laughable -2 points this week. Unfortunately for John, his only starting quarterback, Geno Smith, didn't do much better. He scored -1 point. While this matchup yielded more O's than ProBoner.org, Coach Charlie McGugan was still able to snatch a victory with Tony Romo's 22-point performance. Teams that JJ What You Say beats Kim Jong-ril 57-40. Team Vinegar Strokes lost their matchup this week. They're in last place. Nothing new there. But Coach Daniel Kelly's team didn't perform as bad as usual. Eddie Decker, Tampa Bay, and Heath Miller really hurt the Strokes as they all underperformed, but Carson Palmer pulled his weight and Cam Newton outscored his projections. However, in the end, when we get down to brass tacks, the LA Golds just played better as a whole team, and they outscored their projection. The LA Golds beat the Vinegar Strokes 99-70. I'd like to apologize for how long it took to post this video this week. Here at Real Talk, we always try and be punctual when we post our videos and our analysis. But I've had several personal matters that I've had to deal with this week. One of those includes one of my dear friends who was in the hospital. Coach Field Snyder, he suffered a very, very traumatic butthole injury this week in his matchup. It does look like he's going to pull through, but if you guys could just keep Coach Field Snyder and his butthole in your thoughts. And if anyone would like to donate to the Field is Super Butthurt Foundation to try and help him get over this, you can make a payment at www.fieldgoteffedintheb.gov. Thank you for your thoughts. As Coach Field Snyder is on bed rest recovering from his very invasive butthole reconstruction surgery, I'll let you know how his matchup went. Coach Trey McFall used his superior fantasy intellect to pick up Christian Ponder from the waiver wire. This provided Trey with a second starting quarterback and an extra 10 points. But it was the newly acquired Calvin Johnson who had a noteworthy 25-point performance this week and Derek McFadden's 16-point performance that helped Trey out a whole lot. Trey's team performed so well that not even the mighty Chad Henne could save Coach Field Snyder. This marks the 4th week in a row that 2-for-1 Plums have underperformed, and it marks the 4th week in a row that Team Draft Punk has overperformed. Team Draft Punk wins 102-63. Thanks for watching another episode of Real Talk. Make sure to tune in again next week. And until then, keep it real.